Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. I'm curious. Murray Boyles from South Carolina, obviously playing really well for them, averaging I think 20 and 10 through 3 games. Got into the line 23 times through 3 games. I know one thing you've really worked with Malik over the last couple of years is being able to get him to defend without fouling. What kind of challenge is this going to present, not for just Malik, but the front court this weekend with a player like that, with that talented, being able to get to the line like he does?
Well, it'd be a major test for us, this early in the season. He's after watching him on film, he is a load, and they go to him just like we utilize Malik and Baller when we get opportunities. We just got to see. Malik has gotten better defensively in terms of playing smaller perimeter guys on the floor because we've been switching some with him. Um, but this is a big four, a powerful four that I think he's about 6'8", 6'9", about 245. That demands the basketball. So, we just got to gauge it and see how Malik is playing him, and um, and let him play him. We'll just see where it goes. I mean, I feel good. He's got to play Malik on the other end as well. So, we'll just see how they match up and go from there.
We'll go Zach and then Todd Golden.
Mike, I know it's a small sample size, obviously, but we've asked you about McKenzie's scoring in the last, couple games here. What changes for you guys when he's scoring at all three levels? Obviously, we know he can shoot threes. It seems like he's finishing well around the rim. We've seen him mixed in the mid-range jumper these first couple games. Like what dynamic does it add to the offense when you've got a guy like that that can score at all three levels, kind of whatever the defense is giving him?
Well, I mean, then you can count on that. I mean, you can put him in situations if you need a mid-range two where, he's been able to make shots like you mentioned. He's finishing at the rim. You know, I I mean, I like everything about what he's done from an offensive standpoint, and he's gotten a little better defensively. I'm on him a lot about defending, and knowing our coverages and where we're not having miscues, because we've had some in the first two games, and those, and you expect it because of all the newness that we have. But he's been with me now a year, and I'm pushing him harder on the defensive end to not have very many miscues. But offensively, I think he's gotten better, and he's heading in the right direction for what we want done. So I'm pretty pleased in that regard.
Todd and then Daniel Flick.
Mike, I know it's a small, only 2 games so far, but what are your impressions of the way you've played defensively so far, and what do you feel like you want to see more of on the defensive end?
Well, again, I mean, I think our defense has been pretty solid. I mean, you win lopsided games like we've won. Um, and you look at, when we played Eastern Illinois, I just thought early on our switching was was terrible. I mean, we weren't up to touch. And guys, they were making, you got to give them credit. They were making shots. And, those are the things from a defensive standpoint that we're trying to eliminate. Um, I didn't think we put much pressure up the floor as they were bringing the ball up the floor. We were kind of on our heels a little bit, and I thought the second half we flipped that, and we were up to touch, and our switching was pretty damn good, and the results is what it was. The second half we played pretty good basketball. So I just got to consistently get us doing that from the start all the way through.
Flick and then Zach Browning.
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to ask you on Umar. I want to say there was a play from Eastern Illinois that's kind of it's kind of viral now about where I think Eastern was running a little bit and Umar was around midcourt and he wasn't exactly running. What have you kind of made of his efforts so far, and are plays like that more isolated, do you feel like?
I'm not going to sit here and single out one play. I mean, Ballo has made and has played well for us. I mean, he's again, when you see things like that on tape, hey, you you note it, and you you make sure that they know that, hey, that's not acceptable in terms of getting back, but you singling out one play. There's times he has gotten back and he's done what we've asked him to do. So, I mean, when I see stuff like that and guys not getting back, that's a cardinal sin with me in terms of defense. When that ball changes hands, you got to get back and build a wall and not let guys get behind you for layups. And we did that a couple times in that game, and it's unacceptable. So they know it, and we've made that very clear in film session, and you just try to build on that and not let it happen again, and see where it leads you.
Zach, and then Jim Coyle.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious how much you think that the last couple of minutes against Eastern Illinois will help Cannon Carlisle get his offensive game going. He knocked down a couple of shots. How much and how important do you think that was for him to see the ball go through the basket?
No, it's huge, because he makes some in practice. I mean, trying to get players to carry over from practice to the game has been, it ain't been a major challenge because we haven't played great basketball, but we haven't played bad basketball. We played some pretty good basketball in stretches. So, I mean, I want things probably a lot quicker than they do. But again, that's just me as a coach. But to see him knock some shots down in the game, I mean, that's huge. I'm just hoping that it's a carryover, when we go into the South Carolina game.
Jim, and then Mike Schumann.
Hey, Coach, there have been other bright spots, obviously, this season, but Trey Galloway coming off the bench and averaging over 8 assists a game, and the rise of Bryson Tucker have to be two things that are giving you a pretty good feeling going into this season.
Guys, there's a lot of positiveness around our team. I mean, we haven't probably, I look at the Tennessee game, and that was a competitive big time game. I mean, where, we competed from beginning to the end, and nobody wanted to give. And that's where I'm hoping that we can be, as we continue this season. I mean, you know, they couldn't score, we couldn't score, but it was back and forth. And then we made plays that we needed to make to win the game. Um, you know, having Tucker, having Gallo able to do the things. Gallo knows me, and he has converted himself based on the year that he had last season in terms of how, we want to play. I mean, he knows how we want to play, and so that's a bonus. Unfortunately, I can't play him 30 minutes because his body won't take it right now. And so we have to be conscious of that and kind of play him as we go along. But the minutes that he's played, they've been unbelievable minutes. I mean, his numbers have been fantastic in terms of being able to distribute a basketball and get it where it's got to go. And he makes our offense flow, in terms of how we want to run it. So I mean, I'm very pleased with Gallo and in the short minutes that he's played, and hopefully as the season goes on, we can get him stronger where we can extend the minutes even more. But Tucker's been a plus. I mean, he's a freshman that's still trying to figure it out, but he's given us some positive minutes, and I'm expecting to continue to do that the rest of the way.
Mike, and then Jeff.
Yeah, good morning, Coach. You mentioned the slow start against Eastern Illinois. You also had, you gave up a bunch of offensive rebounds in the game before that. I guess my question is, you got a veteran team here. Are you seeing that the players are kind of taking the lead and identifying things like, not playing as hard as they should be, or is this, a team that you're going to feel like you have to keep getting into and pushing as the season goes on?
Well, again, guys, we got new guys, and everybody's still trying to learn what the hell is going on. And we have made progress. I'm not going to sit and let you guys tell us that we haven't, because we have, but we got a long way to go. And no, I don't like the fact that we gave up offensive rebounds. I mean, I don't think any coach, and college basketball on any level, you know, we're like watching film when you're not blocking out and getting after it and rebounding the basketball. I thought that's where the game was a major difference in the East, was 50-50 balls and them outworking us to get second opportunities. But the second half, I thought we eliminated that. And, we just got to get our guys to understand when they step on the floor, which I thought in the Tennessee, which was a big time matchup, that we came out and didn't make shots, but our defense was solid. We rebounded with them and did what we needed to do to win the game. And even though it was a practice game, it was still a competitive game that is something that you can learn from moving forward. But we just got to clean up a lot of the little things and can continue to grow in the areas where we are playing well and see where it leads us.
Last question, Robbie.
Good morning, Coach. Appreciate your time. You mentioned the other day it's too early to know what a team's offensive identity is, and that's the normal course. But I was curious, if you could draw up what this team ends up being really good at in January and February, what would be the things you could pick if you could just wave a magic wand with this group and say, here's what we're good at?
Don't know yet. I mean, I'm not even going to go there. I just don't know. We're scoring a lot of points. We averaging around 85 points. But again, we're not shooting the three ball great. We shot it great the second half. I think at about a 36% clip. Um, we a true offensive team is, they're gonna make threes when they have them, and you gonna sacrifice the ball when guys are open. You're gonna set screens when it's called upon you to set screens. Those are all the little things that tie into having a good offensive team, and we're not there yet. And our transition offense is raggedy a little bit in terms of just completing the play. You can't turn it over, in transition, especially when you got numbers, and we faced that some. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to clean up based on the talent that we have, because we are more talented, more faster, and Rice and Kent, guys that push the basketball. They got to make good basketball decisions, and I'm not real happy in that area as well. But we're going to keep working until we get it right.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Thank you.